All right, guys, welcome back. Here's another quick one. We're talking about the science of Japanese beetles. Ever notice those shiny green and copper colored beetles munching away at your plants? Those are Japanese beetles. And they're a major headache for many gardeners across the US and across the world. But don't worry, today we're discussing the science behind these pests, how they find your plants, how they spread, and most importantly, what you can do about them, how to get rid of them. So let's get into it. What are they? So what exactly are Japanese beetles? Well, these were first spotted in the United States back in 1916 after hitching a ride on imported Japanese iris plants. Since then, they've spread across much of the country, and let me tell you, they can do some serious damage. Japanese beetles are known for feeding on over 300 different plant species, from roses to fruit trees, to crops like corn and soybeans. These beetles are easy to spot because they're fluorescent almost. Their metallic green heads and shiny copper backs make them easy to spot. But don't let their flashy looks fool you. These things are bad news for the garden. How do these beetles find your plants? Japanese beetles have a great sense of smell, and they're attracted to certain chemicals that the plants release. They use this sense to zero in on plants that they love to munch on. Once one beetle finds your rose bush, it's almost like they send out an invitation to the rest of the gang. Soon, you've got a whole army of them feeding and making a mess of your plants in your whole garden. And they don't just rely on smell. Japanese beetles are great flyers, which mean that they can travel from one garden to another, spreading the problem very quickly. Japanese beetles are highly mobile and use both scent and visual cues to locate host plants. This allows them to move quickly across the gardens and fields, causing widespread damage. This is from the Iowa State University Crop Management Department, however they call themselves. One of the reasons Japanese beetles are so tricky to deal with is how fast that they spread. These beetles lay their eggs in the soil, and the larvae or grubs feed on the grass roots underground. When they hatch, they burrow deeper into the soil to survive the winter. In the spring, they move back up to the surface, feed on the grass roots, and eventually emerge as adult beetles to start the cycle over again. This is why you might notice brown patches on your lawn. They could be a sign of beetle larvae feasting on the roots of your grass. And once these beetles are out and about, they spread by flying, and they've even been known to hitch rides on things like vehicles and aircraft, moving to new areas where they haven't been before. Recent research on crop damage. Now, let's talk about some of the damage that they can do. According to the study from Iowa State University, Japanese beetles are known for causing issues in crops like corn and soybeans, two of the most common crops in the United States. In corn, they clip the silk, which are essential for pollination, leading to poor seed sets. In soybeans, they feed on the leaves, creating a skeletonized effect where only the leaf veins remain. This can reduce the plant's ability to photosynthesize, making it weak and less productive. The study also pointed out that while Japanese beetle damage can look severe, it doesn't always lead to a significant loss in crop yield. Still, it's something every gardener and farmer needs to be aware of, especially if you notice those telltale signs of damage. How to control Japanese beetles in your garden. So what can you do about these garden invaders? Here are a few strategies. Hand picking. I know it sounds tedious, and it is, but if you catch them early, hand picking can keep the problem under control. Drop the beetles into a bucket of soapy water to kill them quickly. Neem oil. Neem oil is a natural insecticide that can disrupt the beetle's life cycle. It won't kill adult beetles instantly, but it can stop them from laying eggs. Milky spore and beneficial nematodes. These are biological controls that target the larvae underground. Milky spore is a bacteria that infects and kills the grubs, while nematodes are microscopic worms that prey on them. Companion planting. Some plants like garlic, rue, and tansy are said to repel Japanese beetles. Planting these near your roses or vegetables might help keep the beetles at bay. Avoid using beetle traps. Traps can lure more beetles into your garden than they catch. So unless you place them far from your plants, they can make the problem worse. Marigolds are a case where they actually attract them. But marigolds can be used as a bait plant, where they will attract more beetles to the plant, sparing the rest of your crops. I would be careful with that though. If beetles are a very common issue for you, you might want to not plant them this year. Japanese beetles may be flashy, but they're no friend to your garden. And by understanding how they find your plants and how they spread, you can take the right steps to protect your crops and flowers. Whether you're using natural methods, or going for biological controls, the key is to catch them early, like anything else, and stay vigilant. If you've got more tips for dealing with these pests, drop them down in the comments below. And if you've learned something new today, hit the like button and subscribe for more scientific-backed gardening tips. Thanks for watching and happy gardening. All right, folks, let's keep those plants safe and those beetles at bay. We'll see you on the next one.